Hey class, so this is just going to be a quick introduction to how to use the note card system, what to write on each note, and basically the three main parts you should include on each index card. Up class, so this is a sample annotated bibliography that I did for one of my master's classes. You guys only had to write about 2 sentences. I had to write roughly 1 to 2 paragraphs for each source. That's not what I'm super concerned about right now. If you could do the 1 sentence summary and then how you might use it, that's essentially what I did here, just a little bit more detailed. What I do care about is see this, how I have 1 next to my first source, 2 next to my second source, 3 next to my third source. The pattern should start to become evident very quickly. I want you to code your sources by just highlighting everything, Control A, and then it'll look a little different in Google Docs, but then I want you to click and make that a list. Do that, and then we'll do the next thing. So here's a quick screencast of how to use the note card system that we're kind of working toward. So we've already gone over, numbering the sources in your annotated bibliography. This next part is the logical extension of that. Now you're going to get yourself a pack of index cards or a bunch of index cards. Here's why. If we keep organized from the start, then you don't have to go back and research your research. So let's make this easy on yourself. Use the index card system. It's like when you had to write a paper, but you never took any annotations in your book, and then you had a really hard time. Let's skip all that hard time. Just trust me. It sounds like a lot of work, but we're actually front loading a lot of the work, so the writing is easier. Now, we're going to be doing researching. So as you reopen the links from your annotated bibliography, you're going to research each sentence or idea or key point that you want to take note should be put on a card. The card is going to look like this. On that card, the topic, that's a good place to start. You can just write what it's about. This is a paper on Langston Hughes poetry, so this is just about Hughes poetry. This part is vital. The second thing you're going to put is where you found the information. So put it by the source number because that becomes really easy. Then you want to put the information you found. And lastly, if it's a print source or something with a page number, you want to put what page it came from because that makes citation really easy. Now, here's a good example of an index card. As far as the thing that's in the center of your card, the note, couple quick notes on that. First, there are differences between quotes, paraphrases, and summary. Quotations are if you're just jotting down one line, maximum 2 lines. But if you have a quote from an author and you want to use the whole thing directly, you would write down the quote. You would use quotation marks, you would write the quote, and you would not change it. This is really useful for super short things. Like if you want to use a 2-word catchy phrase by that author, it's a good way to go. Paraphrasing is more common. You kind of put a passage into your own words. You also have to attribute it to the original source. So you still cite paraphrases. It's usually going to be shorter than the original passage, and it's going to condense slightly that. A summary is like you read a whole article. It has one main idea, and you want to include just the main points. But you would write regardless of what you do, you only write one idea on that index card. Here's what's really important. That one idea is really important. Here's an example of an index card I wrote. However, I made a mistake. See if you can find it.
So we've gone over a few things. The first thing was we went over how to prep your annotated bibliography by making it a numbered list. If you didn't do that when I said to pause the video and do that, I'm not there, so you can go redo that now and I will never know. The second thing, we've gone over why we should use the index card system and how it's going to help you out. The third thing was what the index card should look like the three major components that should be on each index card. Keep in mind the index card should have one idea on it, no more. Just one idea per index card. And then we went over kind of like if you're going to quote, how to do it. Now what you should do is you should start reading your sources, and you should have like 5 to 7 index cards from at least 2 different sources by the time you leave class today. Remember to submit a picture of that to the correct assignment on Classroom. Thanks guys, this is like the third take of this video I've made without throwing up in it, so third time is the charm. No fun picture of Leah today, she's already in bed. Thanks guys.